Recording in progress.
Yeah. We just need one signature. That's the statute. It's saying is it not adding.
A world something you have.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, she wanted that.
Commissioner.
So what? In here?
Yeah.
They would want.
I don't know why mine. It's not in here.
Send you a copy of that estimate field, too.
BFW.
I do not know if Brent's done that, but I'll check with him. He said he was going to, but you write it down now.
There's a file around there.
Morning, everyone. Let's get the meeting started for the Shelby County Board of Commissioners. This is Monday, June 30th, 2025. First item on the agenda is approval of minutes from the June 23rd meeting.
I'll move to approve minutes for 6/23/2025.
Second.
Have a motion second. All those in favor signify in the affirmative. Minutes are approved 2-0 with one abstention. Next item on the agenda is approval of payroll. Entertain a motion to approve payroll.
Move to approve payroll.
Second.
Motion second. All those in favor signify in the affirmative.
Aye.
Payroll passes 3-0. Next up is approval of letter of support for Aspire Indiana Health. Anyone in the audience for Aspire? All right, so just where everybody has the appropriate facts behind this. One of the county's obligations is community mental health. As mental health care initiatives have become more and more funded through the state, the county is required to contract with what's called a community. There's going to be a lot of communities. There's going to be a lot of acronyms in the next couple minutes, so I apologize for that. But the county is required to contract with what's called a community mental health care provider. Previously, that CMHC was Community Health Network, the hospital system based out of Indianapolis. Community Health Network provided both inpatient and outpatient services for the county. They are transitioning more to an inpatient focused business model. And as a result, the outpatient component has become something that we've had to search for a new provider. So kind of complicating matters has been the fact that the new administration in the governor's office has wanted to make some changes to the state of community mental health care funding. And as a result, the Family and Social Services Agency, or FSSA, was not willing to grant any additional CMHC licenses. So we had to work with both major health partners and an established CMHC, which is Aspire Indiana, to move forward with outpatient mental health care opportunities for our county. So Aspire Indiana provides mental health care to several other counties. Hancock County is one of them. In communication with Hancock County's Board of Commissioners, their experience thus far with Aspire has been fairly positive. So the next step for us with regards to transitioning from Community Health Network as our CMHC to another outpatient CMHC is the letter of support. So it's a letter of support to the Department of Mental Health, the State Family Social Services Administration, expressing our strong support for Aspire Indiana Health in their application to assume the CMHC certification for Shelby County. We believe that Aspire provides the best opportunity for mental health care in our community, specifically from an outpatient perspective, which is where the vast majority of mental health care takes place. So it's going to transition from Community Fairbanks Behavioral Health or Gallahue to Aspire, provided it's approved by the state. So we're fairly confident that the state of Indiana will approve this transition. We've had contact with FSSA as far as trying to work within the new confines of what the Braun administration is looking to achieve. And it's our belief that Aspire is the best option available moving forward. So it's just a letter of support to the state, kind of explaining that. Questions, comments?
Is the funding gonna be about the same?
Yes.
So it'll go up whatever the levy goes up every year.
And to add to that, we feel fortunate that we have this option because we think it's going to be a good opportunity for the county as well as the city to benefit from that, where we've probably been lacking in that area.
So basically, this is a letter of support that's asking the state to recognize Aspire Indiana Health as the community mental health center. They will coordinate mental health care efforts in conjunction with major health partners and our what's called our federally qualified healthcare provider, the Jane Pauley Center. They will work in conjunction with those two entities to provide and deliver quality mental health care services.
I move to approve the letter of support for Aspire. Yeah.
Yeah, my second.
Have a motion second. All those in favor signify in the affirmative. Aye. Passes 3-0. Next up, we have an invoice for Bridge 509. From Enneking Pressure Cleaning Incorporated, for thin deck overlay and, surface sealing and foam joints. Is that correct? So, this is the bridge over Harrison Street. Are we approving the pressure cleaning portion or the entire invoice? So this is the application of a thin deck overlay, pressure cleaning, surface joints, sealing, in the amount of $227,000, $227,017.34. And this should be the last cost incurred with this bridge, correct?
Should be for the foreseeable future.
I know they said that if they had done this procedure, like it was gonna extend the life of that bridge for several years. So
Eventually, yeah.
the cost of that versus the cost of reconstructions, nominal.
Very minimal, yeah. A large bridge, a lot of traffic. We all saw that why it was closed and we had the railroad closed. It is an essential route in and out of Shelbyville. The work definitely needed done, so it was nice to be able to fit it in that duration under the closure of the railroad tracks.
I move to approve the Enneking invoice.
I'll second. Have a motion second. All those in favor signify in the affirmative. Next one, we have a right-of-way permit request for boring and installation of fiber on North Knightstown Road near Redwood Drive. Ben, this is a boring, not a road cut, correct?
That is correct.
We are actively encouraging contractors to utilize boring more and more because of the costs associated with road cuts, and the price of boring has kind of made those costs. It's made boring more affordable and more prudent in the long term. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the boring and fiber installation.
Yeah, I'll move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Passes 3-0. Sheriff Cook, any items from the law enforcement side? Dennis, I know there's been busy with respect to EMA, cooling filters and storms. Any items? Donna?
Morning.
Tomorrow is funeral services for Ian Thurston. Several departments have requested to attend funeral services.
I can't hear you.
Turn the mic on.
Did you hear that?
I can't hear him now, I can't, just whisper, come on.
Tomorrow is funeral services for Ian Thurston, who is our county assessor. Several offices have requested to attend. It will be from 10:30 to 12:30. Some offices may remain open, but some offices are requesting to close from 10:30 to 12:30. It will just depend on staffing needs tomorrow. There may be a very limited crew, 1 to 2 people in office, but those with the smaller offices will be requesting to close. So I don't have a list for you because it will just depend on what staffing needs are tomorrow when they come in. So I'm just requesting if those offices need to close, permission for them to close from 10:30 to 12:30 tomorrow to attend funeral services.
So, the county's longtime assessor, Ian Thurston, recently passed away after a lengthy battle with, cancer. In light of the, decade plus of service that Ann gave to the community. I think it's perfectly reasonable for offices, if no other options are available, to complete close tomorrow to pay their respects. So I'd ask for the public's understanding. 3 inconveniences between 10:30 and 12:30 tomorrow. I'd ask everybody to keep Ann's family in their prayers, and I'll ask for a motion to approve.
I respectfully move to approve.
Absolutely. Second.
Have a motion second. All those in favor signify in the affirmative. Aye.
Those offices that close, I will also ask them to make sure and put signage on their doors and on their walls if they close. Thank you.
Thank you, Donna.
You just have something.
Brady, yeah. Insurance update.
Yes, we have the property and liability insurance renewal for July 1st.
Brady, could you state your name and where you're from?
Yes, Brady, Brady Claxton with McGowan Insurance Group. We are the insurance agency for the county on the property and liability insurance that renews 7/1. We have been with Liberty Mutual for the past 3 years. Liberty Mutual let us know several months ago that they were reducing their risk on county governments, and we're not going to be offering a renewal. So we did a full market analysis of the insurance companies that insure municipalities. Travelers came back the best on the liability and the auto side, and then Chubb came back the best on the property. It ended up being a really good result, even though nobody likes to receive a non-renewal from your current insurance company. It ended up being a good result for the county. We were able to improve coverage and deductibles in several areas. Chubb reduced the wind hail deductible exposure that we had with Liberty Mutual. Liberty Mutual had a much higher deductible than Chubb on the wind hail. We reduced the water damage deductible. We were able to get full replacement cost on all the roofs for the county buildings where Liberty Mutual was not providing full replacement cost. We increased the flood coverage to 15 million for the county. That's up from 5 million last year with Liberty Mutual. Increased the earthquake to 20 million, which was at 10 million with Liberty Mutual. And we reduced the flood and earthquake deductibles as well by going with Chubb. We were also able to save money on the cyber liability premium. We worked with John Johnson and his team this past week and got in place what the new insurance company needed So we were able to save money and reduce the deductible on the cyber liability insurance as well. The total premium for the entire program is $629,098, and that's a 4% increase over last year. And we did increase our property values on all of our buildings to keep up with inflation as well. So I'm asking for an approval to move the liability and auto lines to Travelers and move the property insurance to Chubb Insurance Company. And the cyber liability to TMHCC.
MHCC.
I did check with IT on that verification. He said they had it in place.
Correct.
That is,
Correct. And there was one port that they needed to shore up that they were able to do as well. So yeah, worked with the team.
good.
And that deductible went down from 25,000 to 10,000 on the cyber liability by shopping it to the insurance market.
So our premiums went up within market norms, but our deductible, we ended up with better deductibles.
Better deductible and better coverage
We
and
have more dollars of coverage because of the property values increasing.
correct. And really with the claims that we've had over the past couple of years, really the result and the premium was even better than market in my opinion. I mean, the market's really closer to double digits and with our losses that we've had, it was a good result.
You guys have any questions?
No, I think it's great. Only 4% increase.
I'll move to approve the proposed property tax or property insurance coverage changes.
I'll second.
Have a motion second. All those in favor signify in the affirmative. Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brady.
Thanks, Brady.
I have a question on the board. It's from Lisa Shaler. She says, can we get an update on the status of an ordinance regarding the parking of semi-tractor trailers? I'm assuming up at Plaza View.
Yeah, Lisa, I'm still working on that. I've been out of commission the last couple of weeks, so I apologize. I will take full responsibility for the delay in that. But yes, it is forthcoming, so.
It won't fall through the cracks. We'll say that.
And do you have anything over highway?
No, on that, for when you do an ordinance, we've already been out there. Our sign technician has already picked a few places for some no parking signs out there, already called in locates to verify there's no utility questions. So once there's an ordinance in place, we're ready to move forward with signage on that. 600 North was closed last week. They were able to remove the existing structure. Continuing on with that, I did speak with the transportation director at Triton, talked to them about this will affect some of their bus routes. Hopefully for a short duration, but it will affect some of them. So she's reworking some bus routes for the first couple of weeks of school, and hopefully we'll have that open mid-August.
Just a reminder, so the Waldron parades Saturday are correct?
Yes.
We'll be closing those streets, whatever, just during the parade route. You remember the times or?
I do not. I believe it starts at noon, so the closure will be a little bit before that, I believe.
I'm good. Well, you know what? I do have a question on that. Was it River Road or whatever that was over by Geneva that we had that open area with a drainage issue?
Around 750.
Is that still open or?
It is as of right now.
Yeah, I had spoke with Ben about that the other day. I did go down and look at that. I've double checked our records. This is a regulated drain. It is called the Smith tile. I think I had a date of 1954 is the last time it was reconstructed.
It's fairly new.
Sure. However, as we are affected by many of our regulated drains in the county, no maintenance money. So therefore, just by default, it becomes a private landowner's problem, with the lack of any better terms to say. I mean, now, and Ben, where that's connecting up, I couldn't really, I looked at the head wall side of it on the river side. It looked like it was CMP at that point. I'm assuming here at this moment that it was CMP underneath the road. Is that about what, is there CMP on the north side of River Road right there where they dug up to? Is that CMP? It looked like a,
There is.
okay.
And there was a piece of it that was exposed. It's an 18-inch concrete CMP. There was one still intact that they removed. We did take our jet rod out there for cleaning tiles and culvert pipes. We were able to run the jet rod all the way through, so it is not collapsed under the roadway.
The river was up when I saw it. It was up to the top of the outlet pipe on the river side, and therefore also on the side, on the north side of the road, it was, the water was up to that level. So I couldn't really, but it was taking water. It had flow going through it. Was it up that high when you guys jet routed through it? Do you recall?
It was just a few inches below the top of the pipe, but
Okay, so
the 18-inch pipe, it was about 15 inches full, but there was still water flowing. Like I say, we made it through there.
Could we revisit that this week just to figure out what we could do to make that less of a liability on that open end that we've dug up that's just got a.
yeah, I mean, obviously there's no questions asked. It's a safety concern there that we need to get that closed up.
I just don't want to leave that open for an extended period of time and somebody drive off the edge of the road and.
I mean, typically if we would have concluded that, hey, this was a culvert pipe that was put in place underneath the county road to convey surface water from one side to the other, then I'd be saying, hey, that'd be a culvert pipe that county would take care of, a highway department take care of. But being a tile drain, as many private drains and regulated drains across county roads all the time, I don't feel that that's would be solely a responsibility of the highway department, unless that is our only option here to get this thing to a safety factor, is that the highway department has to do something with it.
Well, let's revisit that this week and try to figure out a plan for that to kind of resolve that, at least the safety side of it, so.
Yeah, we had a situation, was it last week or the week after? Before that, I think it was last week that over on, I think it was 100 South, we were out doing our ditch spraying, and I took note over by the Gibson ditch that we had a heck of a washout of, again, a private tile running parallel on the north side. I think it was that 100 north, 100 south.
North.
One north, on the north edge, and it had come through, and I mean, it sucked a big hole right there. I mean, for the, just to make it, I assume they just filled it with riprap right now, just for safety factors. But it was undermining the asphalt there. I mean, we've got these things, of course, they pop up everywhere. I guess I wish there was a better solution. I think years and years ago, the county, and this was, I think, back before my time in 1992, they went in there and wiped the slate clean on a lot of our ditch improvement funds, where they had done maintenance on drains that had no funds available to recollect. And we had a lot of negative drains, and I think they went in there and just had some monies left over from something at one time and wiped those clean.
We'll bring that up next week too at the drainage board, because we need to.
Yeah.
Change some of that.
Yeah, no, I'm understanding, especially in these situations that are affecting the public safety, as this is right here.
Exactly.
Yeah, we need to address it somehow.
All right, thank you, Joe.
Yeah.
Anybody in the audience or on Zoom for the good of the cause?
Hi, it's Blake, Newkirk, Bingle. I just, I don't even know if this is the appropriate time to bring it up, but 750 West, south of the four-way in Bingle is just loaded with potholes. If there's any way to get that fixed over the summer, pretty large chunks out of the center of the road. That's all. Thank you.
Just making a note of it right now, so.
South of 350 South Blake.
Yes, just as soon as you hit the four-way going south, it's that stretch until you get to the curve. There's probably 4 just in that stretch, and they're pretty large.
Okay, thank you.
Thank.
We have an additional appropriation request. This is to appropriate the state's 75% share of construction of Bridge 128 on 75 East between 7 and 8 South. Also on Bridge 146, which is on 1100 South between 200 East and 275 East. This is to appropriate the state funding for those bridge projects.
Yeah, when those were approved, the state sends over the 75% and then we wait until it's awarded, and then we ask for an additional to be able to put those funds towards the project as it begins.
That's been ongoing, so this isn't anything new.
Correct. That's monies we've already received from the state.
CCMG.
Yeah. An update on that bridge 128 is still planned to start second week of July. We have a pre-construction meeting on Bridge 146 today. Still hopeful that will start in the spring of 26.
Question, we had some extra money in the community crossings. Are we still doing anything, you know, with that?
Nope, with the new legislation, they did not do a second call for CCMG 2025. As in years past, they've done an open call for applications to be submitted in January and then a second one in July. With all the changes to that, they aborted the second call in July. NDOT is still working on the application process. CCMG will continue. Funding has been cut substantially for that, which is upsetting. Ourselves included, and many other small communities have utilized this to stay afloat. Shelby County has utilized it a lot for bridge replacement and repair over the years. The funding has been cut by about 60%. So in years past, last year they awarded about 360 million. Moving forward, it is capped at 100 million. So the calls, the applications are going to become few and far between. A lot of communities will be without. We'll be lucky to get something. We have some great projects moving forward. Once NDOT gets their application process figured out, they'll let us know. Tentatively right now, they're thinking they may open it in October, but that will be for funds for 2026. It will not be a 2025-2 application. And they will.
Thing that Shelby County had already been utilizing that CCMG money, and we already know how to do that, where other communities and counties are just starting to figure out how to do that. We've been doing that, so.
Shelby County has benefited from CCMG substantially since I believe Diane filed the first application in 2016. And we've been approved every year but one for different CCMG applications, some asphalt projects. The Triton Central School project on 600 North is still scheduled tentatively second week of July. They know they will be required to be in and out by July 30th before school starts up there. And also the 800 East project, many bridge replacements, rehabilitations, millions of dollars worth of funding over the
benefit for Shelby County, so.
Jason, would you please read the dollar amounts?
Once again, this is to appropriate the state's 75% share of the construction of Bridge 128, 146. Bridge 128 amount is $450,000 Bridge 146 amount is $530,000. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second?
Have a motion second. All those in favor signify in the affirmative. Aye. Passes 3-0. And look forward to the completion of those projects. Anybody in the audience or on Zoom questions? Hearing none.
Move to adjourn.
We're adjourned. Thanks, everyone. Have a good week.
Two questions.
Hey,